Right, so we start with a matter that has been of controversial nature for some time now, and it's got to do with health. Now, 15-year-old kidney failure patient Priscilla Sante died less than 48 hours after she spoke to Joy News and made a passionate plea for government through the National Health Insurance Scheme to absorb the cost of dialysis treatment. Now, her parents at the time could not afford the cost of the much-needed treatment, which left her bloated and eventually died. But several months on after her plea, her wish has come to fruition, as the National Health Insurance Scheme is set to begin a free 6-month dialysis program. Joy News Dialysis Crisis Series brought the issue to the fore and tracked promises made by government and other stakeholders. The series culminated in a big conversation on the matter last year, with stories checking progress last month. We will bring you details about that statement that came from the NHIA this morning. But first, here's Priscilla Sante's story detailing her struggles, and then eventually she died.
The humming sound of medical equipment here at the renal unit of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital welcoming patients. It's a Tuesday morning and 15-year-old Priscilla Sante is being wheeled into the renal unit here.
The doctors told me I have to be on the machine, and I have to be on that machine either twice or thrice a week.
For now, she has to travel nearly 100 kilometers from Chifu Mampong with her mother to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital every Tuesday and Thursday to have her dialysis session.
My mom and dad do not have money either. We have become miserable. I am appealing to the government to help me live through this. Otherwise, I may die.
Priscilla, a junior high school pupil, now carries a weight much heavier than her school bag. Her daily battle now is not with textbooks and homework, but with the relentless adversary, renal failure.
I want the government to support me so I can live to fulfill my dream of becoming a nurse.
The burden of her illness has not only taken a toll on her fragile body, but has shattered her world due to the family's precarious financial situation.
They said that could be 3.5.
They say every section is 350 cedis. And this in addition to getting blood and other medication.
Priscilla's mother, Ruth Ofori, has been a pillar of strength for her daughter and is determined to ensure her only daughter lives. With teary eyes, she shares the story of her family's headache, struggling to cope with the emotional and financial strain that comes with caring for her only daughter battling renal failure.
From the doctors, if I keep on missing this section, I may lose my daughter. And I need the help of the government.
Her voice quivers as she recounts the sleepless nights and endless hospital visits, each one a reminder of their uphill climb. But Priscilla is not alone in this fight. Thomas Vincent Khan has lived with kidney diseases for a decade.
The people who came and could not survive just a week or even a month. So for me to survive it all these 10 years, it's really been a tough one.
For Thomas, the thought of heading to the dialysis machine is not just physically draining, it's also a haunting financial specter. The towering cost of dialysis looms over him like a relentless shadow, casting doubt and despair. Thomas speaks of the silent tragedy he has witnessed over the years, a grim parade of 100 busloads of people who have lost their lives to kidney failure because they lack the financial means to access dialysis treatments.
Most of the time, it's not easy always chasing people or asking people for help, because it is very difficult to sustain For instance, if somebody gives you 1,000 to help you, you can't go to the person every day or every now and then to ask for the same help. And this is a disease that you always have to be coming to the hospital. Without that funding, you can't come for dialysis. And here is a case that it is a pay as you go. So it means that if you don't have money, you can't come for dialysis. And like I mentioned, there are people who have died because they cannot have the money to come for dialysis. And to tell you the truth, there are lots of the people we have lost, not because of the disease, but just the thought of finding money to come to the hospital. That alone has killed them. If there was any support for them, if they had the money, I'm sure they would have been here by now, and then perhaps be coming to dialysis just to sustain or manage the situation. But unfortunately, because there is no money to support them, we have lost all of them.
Each one, a story of unfulfilled dreams and shattered hopes, adds to the weight of despair that Thomas carries.
We wish that we'll have a strong funding to support our clients, those who are the vulnerable ones. Some are unable to pay even for a session of dialysis.
Kwesi Brown has worked in the renal unit of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital for 20 years. Over the period, he's seen many families come to him, instructing him to take their relatives from the machine to go home and die, a situation that breaks his heart.
You won't believe it. There are some who even come in, and they come in, tell you that now we don't have money to come anymore, and so please take off the catheter for us to go home. Because they can't, they just don't know how to get the next, so the idea is to go home and die. The idea is to go home and die. You understand? It's sad, But if we have a fund in place, then from that fund we can support. Places to this place itself is also a challenge, in itself. Once the transport fares are going up, it becomes problematic for them.
It's a story of Priscilla, Thomas, and countless others here who bear the heavy burden of kidney diseases. It's a stark reminder that the battle against renal failure is not only fought in hospitals and clinics, but in the hearts and homes of individuals and families who continue to grapple with its physical, emotional, and financial toll. Richard Kwejo for Joy News.
Right, so Priscilla wanted to become a nurse. That dream did not materialize because she couldn't live to see that day. But one of her wishes was that government should intervene in the dialysis issues. Now, there's good news because the National Health Insurance Authority, they've taken some steps to make it more affordable, if you like, depending on how you look at it. It may not be 100% absorption, but there's some kind of a relief for those who are going through dialysis treatment. Joining us for more on this, we're going to get Kojo Bafo Ahenkra is president of the Renal Dialysis Patients Ghana, and also Oswald Iswa Mensah, director of communication for the National Health Insurance Authority. But before we bring them in, let me update you on the position of the NHIA as far as this matter is concerned. So this was issued on June 1, that's Saturday, and it's a very straightforward statement. The government of Ghana, through the National Health Insurance Authority, in its 20th anniversary celebration, is pleased to announce significant enhancement to its health benefit coverage to include dialysis patients for a period of 6 months. And it's as follows. Vulnerable groups, that's patients aged below 18 and above, that's 60 and above. Patients aged under 18 and above 60 will receive all 8 free dialysis sessions per month under the National Health Insurance Scheme from June to December 2024, as indicated. So you have the breakdown there for you: June, July, September, August, September, October, November, all the way to December. And the NHIA is projecting that they will spend 2.3 million Ghana cedis. Now, the cost of dialysis for these categories, upon verification of the actual patients on the dialysis, is projected to 239,000 per month by the end of December 2024. The cumulative cost is estimated to be approximately 2.3 million Ghana cedis. This is some relief, if you like, even though some would have wished that it should be institutionalized on a permanent basis. But how are they receiving this? Let me bring in Kojoba for Ahenkra, President of Renal Dialysis Patients, and of course, Eswa Mensa, Director of Communication for the National Health Insurance Authority. Mr. Ahenkra, first to you. I mean, this has been long in coming. Finally, the implementation date is set. It started on the 1st of June. But, you know, not everybody stands to benefit. But at least it provides some relief for some of you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it does. At least it's not like 100%. At least even if it's one session, you appreciate getting the one session. Because if somebody tried to sponsor you or pay one session at dialysis for you, he has saved your life. So it's a welcoming news. We appreciate and we really thank them for whatever they've done for us. But like I said, that is not a solution to the whole thing. 8 sessions and then they are taking 2 for you. Yes, it's a milestone, but the point is, how do we survive with the 6 sections there? So yes, we really appreciate them. We thank them, and then let's see the way forward from there.
All right. We'll come back to deal with the nitty-gritties of the announcement. Let me also bring in Oswald Mensah, Director of Communication for the NHIA. Oswald, good afternoon. And I mean, perhaps for those who are in dire need of these services, they will say congratulations and for a good work done. So this has already started, right?
Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Yes, the announcement was made public over the weekend on the 1st of June. And I believe that from this month going forward, once claims are submitted with regards to the breakdown that has been discussed, NHI will certainly pay for these claims. So in effect, we can say that the policy has started off.
Right. So for 18 years and above 60, that is the NHI taking care of the entire, dialysis treatment.
The announcement, as it says, really will cater for all categories of patients. My brother, Mr. Dankwa, did say that, of course, let me go back and state that
right.
The money that was approved for Parliament did say that it was a seed money of 2 million cedis, and the NHI should take care of the very vulnerable within the patient spectrum. Of course, I have engaged a lot of the patients, and everybody would rightly tell you that they are also needy and need to be covered. But in the strictest terms, and of course, we've had a series of meetings with other stakeholders, including Mr. Dankwa himself, and we kind of agreed at this point in time that it is an ongoing process. This is only the beginning of perhaps what will be a more sustainable way of financing dialysis treatment in Ghana. It's the first time that the scheme is doing this. So at this point, we're looking at how best we can save the situation for the very, very vulnerable. And when we say vulnerable, we're looking at children who fall under the age of 18 years and those that are 60 years and above. So for that category, we're happy to say that NHIS will take on board the full cost of the dialysis sessions. And I believe that's about 8 sessions in a month.
Right.
And it doesn't stop there. We're also going to take care of patients who are also within the active bracket, which I would want to refer to as 18 years to 59. Those who are outside of Kolebu, and in particular, we're talking about Konfanoche, Cape Coast, Ifea Kwanta, Old Teaching Hospital, Tamale Teaching Hospital. For those who are receiving treatment in these centers, in as much as we also want to assist, what we're saying that at this point in time, we'll be only able to pay for 2 sessions,
right,
full sessions at these hospitals. And for those in this active bracket, and when I say active, obviously, it doesn't also mean that all patients are unable to perhaps have any economic life. So these brackets perhaps may have some of economic support. So for those who are seeking treatment in Kolebu, what we're saying is that we'll pay for 50% of 2 sessions. And by the breakdown that we had, each session was supposed to cost about 491. So NHI will pay for 2 sessions of the dialysis treatment that they have, which will amount to about 1 million. Ghana cedis. Again, I think it will be instructive to state that NHIA, as I said earlier on, only received an amount of about 2 million cedis as seed money for financing this particular disease condition.
Right.
However, we've gone a step further to also add on 2.4 million Ghana cedis to make it a total of 4.4. And that 2.4 is coming from our corporate social responsibility fund, which we are looking to use to, as it were, shore up what the difference will be. And another question that people are asking is how sustainable this is. Mr. Danko himself has asked that question.
Exactly.
I just want to say that, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So today, let's be happy. Let's celebrate this win, and let's look forward. Let's keep engaging. Let's see what may come out down the line to make sure that going forward past December, the story will be different and we'll have better outcomes.
Right, Mr. Mensah, so I just want to come in and ask. So do we know the exact number of people we are targeting? Because I know that diagnosis is happening almost virtually every day. New entrants may be added onto the list. Have you looked at the numbers?
Yeah, currently as we speak, we've engaged with stakeholders and we have a number of about 531 patients that are receiving dialysis across the country. And these are, of course, those that have presented themselves for treatment. So this is a number we're working with for now. The children or the vulnerable category, we classify them to about 84 in number. Okay, and then those that are receiving treatment outside of Kolebu between the ages of 18 and 59 are about 147. And those that are seeking treatment from Kolebu within that same age bracket is about 300. So when you add all of that together, it's about 531 patients is what we're looking at this point in time.
And my understanding is that more of them are at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
I want to believe so, yes, because of the facilities, yes. I think that Kolebu itself is a referral center, so we have about 300 odd number seeking treatment in Kolebu.
I'll come back to look at the long-term solutions from the NHIA point of view. But Mr. Hincraft, this is obviously good news. I mean, you've been fighting for this for some time now. Even for those who don't fall within the category of full absorption, it is some kind of a relief. Don't you agree?
Oh, yes. That's why I stated earlier on. Yes, it is. It's some form of relief because, like I said, if you are doing 8 sessions, and then you've taken 2 out of it, or you left it. It's some form of relief. So, yeah, it's a step in the right direction. We really appreciate what they've done. But like I said, we are looking for a long-term solution. I was part of the committee that set up to look at all those things. So I know everything that the things that went into it for all these things. So it's a step in the right direction. We are not saying anything bad about it. We really appreciate it. It's very good. Like we are hoping come December, maybe something more perspective will come out. So we are not debunking, we are not saying anything bad. We are just thanking them for what they've done for us so far.
How many of your members are below 60 and above 18 that will have to just, will have to just settle with the 2 sessions that the NHIA wants to take care of?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. The question you asked, how many, that the numbers there, it's not that significant. The point is between 0 to 18. Kolebu outpatient, I can count about 3. If my memory serves me right, I can count about 3. The aged to, they are normally about 10 or 12. 10 or 12, that is above 60. So the numbers there are not that significant there, but that's what I can talk of. But day in, day out, people are coming. I mean, day in, day out, people are coming. So you wouldn't know when it will be increased or it will come down.
So currently, as you speak, how much are you paying? With the
currently, as
with the approval by Parliament of the fees and charges?
Yes, as at this morning, when I did mine, I paid 491.
491 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
And this is the new fees approved by Parliament.
So we hear.
So when do you expect to benefit from this NHIA intervention?
Oh, they are saying it takes effect from this month. So if I have 8 sessions and then throughout this month, and then I'm giving 2 free sessions. Probably my next session is on Friday. So when I go, I'll just alert them that I have 2 free sessions. So maybe today I don't have money, so I'm using one of my free to dialyze. Because like my brother just said, it's taking effect from June.
Right.
Today is 3rd June. So anytime I want to use the free within the month, it's up to me.
I also want to understand this. I mean, the last time you visited us in our studio, there's discussion about the other contributors to the center, that their contribution is expected to make life even easy for you. The First Star Group and the rest, some monetary contributions that they've made, and you wanted to even understand how come you are paying when there appears to be some kind of intervention, and yet you are paying from your pocket. I don't know whether you've gotten clarity on this particular matter.
Oh yes, it's still like you just said. So we still need people coming to support us. We will still need them, because the other day I was telling you that the point is, what they are doing is dialysis. They are paying for the dialysis. Now there are other medications that we buy. There are other labs that we do. There are other injections that we take. All is seriously cost of money. So those people that who comes in to support us, still we are still in touch with Polibu to find out how far they've gone with it. But still, we are still appealing to the public to come out and support us. I mean, who knows tomorrow? I keep saying, when you go for a session, every week you're supposed to take an injection, the erythropoietin. You're supposed to take, and that one is almost about 300. Your BP medication has not come, your iron has not come. So we still appeal to the general public to come and support us. Whilst the government is doing, the National Health Insurance is doing this, we appeal to them to come. That one that you talk, we are still in talk with Polibu to find out where things have gotten to.
Right. Let me bring in Mr. Mensah. Mr. Mensah, so as we look forward to the future, and is it possible that the NHIA may in the future fully absorb, dialysis treatments?
Hi, I think it's a bit premature for me to try and suggest what could happen, but I know that definitely the conversation has started. It's
Right.
not ended. The gestures have been made. We've all seen where we are today. We can only pray that all categories, maybe someday, would see some full funding from NHI. But saying this, I think what is also lost on us as a people that we have to begin to start talking about is how we can support the population to ensure that disease conditions are detected early enough, and we don't wait for it to get to chronic cases before we try and spend so much money. I believe that you've probably been following NHI to the extent that we're trying to have a paradigm shift where our payer services doesn't just end up with NHI paying for claims of, huge bills month on month or year on year. What we should begin to start looking at is how we can benefit from or encourage, our population to empower themselves to begin to take promotive and preventive checks. These things, perhaps, the ordinary blood pressure check, the blood sugar checks, body mass index, these things have the ability to detect disease conditions, early enough for us to seek intervention. These are things, consciousness that we must begin to start discussing as a country, and not just fixate our minds on payment for claims. We have to have a paradigm shift, a new way of thinking for us as a country to begin to take wellness and promotive health checks seriously.
And that brings me to the concern about the health of the scheme itself. I know that you've been following the news. Last week, the minority went so hard on the NHIA, saying that the scheme is being run down. You are cash-strapped, to the extent that they made a point that the amount of money left in the scheme account was, around 1 million Ghana cedis. And I know that, there's been discussion about increasing the premium and all that. Is the scheme very healthy?
Thank you. I don't know about NHI not having money in accounts, but what I can tell you is that NHI pays on average about 170 to 200 million Ghana cedis a month for claims. I haven't seen a situation where on a monthly basis payments have not gone. But the call for NHI sustainability is in the right direction. All the parties, well-meaning Ghanaians support the scheme, and I believe that anybody who calls for NHI to have extra funding, it's in the right direction, because NHI itself, as you know, today we're talking about dialysis treatment. We have mental health knocking on our door. We have prostate cancer knocking on our door. We have so many different disease conditions that are knocking on the doors of NHI to absorb as part of payments for the scheme. So if there's a situation which can make NHI more liquid, more robust, more responsive to the needs of our population, it's a welcome conversation. And I'm sure that it's something that will be carrying on well into the future to see how the scheme can be very resilient to take on any new disease conditions that may come upstream.
Is an increase in premium the only way out?
Increase in premium may not be the only way out. Increase in premium, as a matter of fact, if you look at our revenue streams, you'd realize that the premiums are perhaps about only 4 or 5% of our inflows. So premiums really are not the way to look at sustainability. We have to continue to inject efficiency in our operations. We have to look at using technology to drive the scheme. We have to make informed decisions based on data, and so on and so forth. These are the things that will help. But of course, there are other external issues that once they are taken care of, the scheme will have enough funding. Others have called for syntaxes. Some have called for expansion of our revenue streams, and so on and so forth. So we are open for funding to make the scheme more resilient.
So finally, before I let you go, so as it relates to the treatment of the kidney patients, the arrangement is that they go to the health facility will present their claims, and then you pay them. At least for this arrangement, that is expected to last for the next 6 months.
Yes, by the architecture of the health space, what we do is the facilities that are credentialed to see NHI's patients will go ahead and see the patients. And at the end of the month, they will send the claims to NHI, or vet, and then we'll pay. I don't want to believe anything will change in that regard. So once patients are seen within any particular month, it's our patient that will receive the claims documentation, and we'll subject that to scrutiny before payments will be made.
And there's a possibility that this 6 months window of opportunity can be reviewed along the line. That is if funds are available.
We'll leave that for government to decide.
All right. Mr. Mensah, thank you very much. Communication Director with the National Health Insurance Authority. Let me bring in Mr. Henkra as we wrap up on this conversation. So you've heard everything. It will be Kolebu or any health facility responsibility to push the claims to NHI, and then they will pay. What will be your final thoughts as we wrap up on this discussion, Mr. Henkra? Yes, Mr. Henkra, if you can unmute for me so we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, please go on. So I was asking about your final talks on this matter. NHI say they are ready. All they will require is that the health facility present the claims, and then they will pay.
Okay, then we are with them. Like you just said, if they are ready, they should present their claim. Then we beg them. But now the information that I'm getting, that some of the patients are going, saying, and that the hospitals are saying that they are not aware. They've not been authorized to do that. So if they are ready, we are good to go. Then they should alert the hospitals that the patients can now come and dialyze.
Are you able to tell us which particular hospital is refusing to attend to them?
Not that he's refusing to attend to them. The point is that they are saying that they have not been notified to start doing that. And now the news is outside. So we are begging the National Health Insurance to alert the hospital, Ministry of Health to alert the hospital that the patient that they have, Kolebu, for instance, where I dialyze, I have 2 free dialysis sessions of this month. So maybe when I come and I don't have money and I say I want to use one of my free, they should understand. Or they should let them know it has taken effect. So when they are coming, they should allow them to do it. All that I'm saying. But Kolebu this morning, some people paid.
All right. So the concern is that they got the information that Kolebu says that they are yet to be told officially.
Yes, that is it.
All right. And I'm guessing that as leader of this association, you will take it up and iron out whatever issues that exist so that people can enjoy this for free, as has been promised by the NHI.
Oh, sure. it just came out, and unfortunately, I lost my mother, so I'm a bit so. From tomorrow, I'll make sure that thing is ironed out. Then we'll take it from there.
Mr. Ankra, my condolences on your loss, and I want to thank you very much for joining us this afternoon on the pause as we discuss this steps taken by the National Health Insurance Authority on the treatments of dialysis. Now, it started on June 1 and it's ongoing. So the NHIA say that they are paying for the cost of treatment. There's a category of people who have it for free. That is below 18 and above 60. And they will enjoy the session, the 8 sessions for free. NHIA taking care of them. But for any other category of people above 18 and below age 60, NHIA program is that they will take care of 2 out of the 8 dialysis sessions for every kidney patient. And they are estimating that this will cost them over 2 million Ghana cedis. And it's going to last from now till the end of December. If along the way government see it fit to review it, then the discussion will have to be had on the way forward for this particular matter. This is a pause here on Joy News with me, Elton Brobe. Now, away from dialysis, let's talk about another controversial matter that appears to be dividing the political parties and the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has spent the day engaging political parties after making a U-turn on a decision to allow them monitor the ongoing voter transfer process. Now, the confusion following that has resulted in violence in Ofarko near Kaswa. Political parties are urging the Electoral Commission to respect the terms of the agreement reached at the last Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting to have their representatives in all EC offices as the transfer of votes begins. The exercise is to allow applicants to transfer, undertake proxy or replacement of their voter ID cards in all district offices of the EC. The political parties are not happy, despite an agreement to have their representatives supervise the exercise. The EC is not going by that. The EC has been engaging the parties all day on this issue at its headquarters, from where my colleague Samuel Mbura joins me. So, Samuel, how did it go today?
Right, so Elton, let's start with the genesis of this issue. How did we arrive here? First, there was an earlier meeting at IPAC where the political parties were invited. So in the spirit of transparency, the EC said, we'll allow you to monitor the exercise in terms of the voter transfer. But the CI governing it is our discretion to allow you or not. So it's just an opportunity that we are giving you to be part of the monitoring exercise. So you're just going as an observer, not, a critical monitor in it. So as a political party agent, you can monitor. So when the EC, they all agreed at the IPAC that the political parties can bring agents to observe, what they noticed was that there were reports of chaos, violence, and the recent one is what was reported from Kaswa yesterday, where the son of the MP for Ewutu Senya East, Hawa Kumsen's son, was reportedly stabbed, with other scores of people injured from both the NDC and NPP, reason being that the NDC resisted an alleged attempt to for the NPP to come and register people that were not known in the constituency. So on the back of that, and if you look at the memo that the EC issued...
In fact, on Thursday, when I hosted the Director of Electoral Services of the EC, Dr. Shibo Kweku, and all the political parties, Mustafa Bwande, NDC, Evans Nimaku, MPP, Kofi Akpalu, I mean, all of them agreed on this show that the EC at that IPAC meeting, allow them in a way. But the EC at that time had yet to send an official letter to all the political parties. So Mustafa Bwande was questioning why the EC was taking so long unofficially asking, because already they were picking information from the districts that district police officers were preventing political party agents from monitoring the process. And Shibo Kweku could not provide a direct answer as to what was happening, only to say that they will send them the letter.
So these issues came up. So the NDC specifically was about, they were worried that why is it that you didn't address this from the onset? Is it the case that you didn't anticipate that there will be chaos? But the EC felt like, okay, wanted to give you the opportunity in the spirit of transparency, but where it is going and the reported violence, we are revoking that privilege that we are giving you. That's why it is directing all the regional directors and officers not allow the agents to observe the exercise. Even at the EC headquarters, we had people coming from, I mean, that particular center had also East, West, Central, and Koliklote constituency. So imagine these big constituencies coming to one point. So you see the NDC agent saying that this person, why you transfer? They are trying to question why the person is transferring the vote to that particular constituency. So it is somehow untidy, and the EC thinks that to avoid these noises being created at the transfer centers, we will allow only our officers to do that. But the NDC, when I spoke to Omane Boama before the IPAC meeting, he was categorical and claiming that they have picked some information that the EC wants to connive with the governing party and then rig the election through this transfer. There are some specific constituencies, according to the NDC, that the MPP wants to transfer votes so that it will boost their fortunes in the upcoming election.
But the law is clear. I mean, if I'm transferring, for example, from this place to another constituency, where I'm transferring to, the law is clear. I should live there for more than 12 months.
Exactly.
So there's no issue about that.
That's the contention of the NDC now.
They feel that
these people that are coming there are not genuine.
All right.
They are not genuine people. I want us to listen to Dr. Omane Boama, who is the director in charge of research of the NDC, explaining that point. I even asked him the source of that information that he is claiming that the NDC has gotten that information or has uncovered that the EC is conniving with the NPP to bring in voters to register as specific constituencies. Let's listen to him.
We will not withdraw our agents from the transfer centers. Look, we have an authority. Specific constituencies and specific number of votes that the MPP wants to transfer to those constituencies. We got that document less than 15 minutes when the EC statement about political parties should withdraw their agents also started circulating.
Where's the source of that document?
You may want to ask, where did I get my information about the stolen biometric equipment at the headquarters of the EC from? I will not disclose the source, but I'm the very person who got the information about the stolen biometric equipment at the headquarters of the EC under CCTV surveillance, which they are admitted to. I'm saying I'm the very person, and I trust the source because the source proved to be credible when the source provided the information about the stolen biometric equipment. So the point we are making is that gerrymandering is something that unscrupulous political parties pursue during transfer of votes. We do not want any political party to engage in gerrymandering. All political parties must be interested in free, fair, and transparent elections. Therefore, agents of political parties must be present during this transfer exercise. If you are not careful, you will be deceived to believe that during exhibition of the register, you can object to illegal transfers. Read the law carefully. The law does not permit that challenge when it comes to exhibition.
But Doc, does the law permit it during the transfer of votes?
The law does not permit it, but when you know that this is what it is, you can prevent it. You can aid the returning officer. Let's face it, for a whole constituency, the transfer is being done at the EC's district office. Even if the returning officer is an area guy or an area lady who knows a lot of people, he or she is not likely to know everybody from every polling station. You understand? So ideally, you should be interested that, oh, there are people there who can help you. Bear in mind that you have a very informal sector in this country. You understand? So we are interested in prevention. The question I ask is, why is the MPP every step of the way against transparency and in favor of opacity? What is it that they are up to? What is it that they are hiding? And what is it that the EC, per this decision, either deliberately or inadvertently, aiding the MPP to achieve? So,
So Imbua was at this IPAC meeting and he's still here with me. So did you get a response from the MPP?
Yeah, I spoke to Peter McMahon. He says that the law is quite clear. He realized that the NDC accepted that, yes, this is what the law says, but in order to prevent crime, you can contest. But the MPP is saying that, yes, they've listened to the EC and they'll go by the directive as given. So henceforth, NPP agents at the transfer centers are withdrawn. That's what he said. We can listen to him in that interview.
Party agents to observe the process. However, the EC feels that what has transpired at the various stations, the agents have caused some form of commotion which has led to violence. So they have decided that political parties must withdraw their agents to allow peace prevail. And for us, as a party, MPP, we think that coming events cast their shadows. So what has transpired was not a good thing, and that the EC, in their wisdom and with the authority vested in them under the Constitution, decided that we should withdraw the agents. We abide by it. We will abide by it in the interest of peace and tranquility in our electoral process. What I've said is not in the law. It was out of EC's magnanimity and transparency. But if that is going to bring violence and chaos, and as I said earlier, coming events, it may even lead to killings. Should they wait for that to happen? Withdraw your agents and let peace and harmony prevail at the transfer process system. And I don't think that is fair enough. It means you are being confrontational to the decisions of the authority, which is vested in the Electoral Commission of Ghana under the Constitution of the Republic. We don't have to be confrontational in election processes.
So clearly the MPP supports the position taken by the Electoral Commission. But I'm interested in what independent observers make of this.
Yeah, so Kodeyo sides with EC. The position of Kodeyo is that the law is clear. So if the law is clear and you have been given the opportunity as political parties to come and observe, and then you turn out to be causing chaos, then it is for the interest of stability and then the smooth running of the elections that you withdraw your agents for the exercise to go on well. So let's listen to Albert Ahin of Kodeyo making this particular point.
The EC is saying that because of the troubles that it is emanating from these centers, you know, somebody was stabbed the other time. I'm sure that must have triggered the EC's decision. So the EC concretely said that all parties should withdraw their agents from the centers.
As election observers, what's your position on that?
No, as I'm saying, it has never even occurred in this commission before. It's not in the law in the first place. So I'm even wondering why the EC, maybe they were being too magnanimous by allowing them to send their people there. It could also be that they wanted to be extra transparent, okay? But if, on the other hand, it's being abused, then they are right to...
Are you backing the decision by the EC?
I, in the first place, wouldn't even want agents to be around when transfers are being made, because the law does not even back it. You can't defend it anywhere because the law is against it. It is not written anywhere that when transfers are being made, parties should be represented.
Now, the worrying situation is that the NDC is still on its grounds. It says their agents should remain at the transfer center because they are suspecting that the EC wants to manipulate the system in favor of their main opponent, the MP.
I cannot answer for the EC what they will do if the NDC still has the agents there. It will be for them to decide what to do, if they should still maintain them there.
Definitely, you have a caution for that because we know definitely that if it is going to continue, yes, we have chaos.
Continue, definitely it's going to be chaotic. Don't be there, I'm going to be there. Don't be there, I'm going to be there. Then it's going to be chaotic. So, the best thing for maybe the other party to do is to also withdraw, because they've done a lot of discussion here, and I don't think the EC gave in. The way the discussion went, I'm not sure the EC gave in. Well, if they are going to consult among themselves as a commission, It could be they can come out later to say it, but I don't know. But for now, the EC is saying every party should withdraw.
Finally, for you, so I mean, what is the way forward? What is the EC's position going forward?
The EC's decision or position hasn't changed. It remains that withdraw your agents. But it has given an assurance to the NDC that they will look into it, their concerns, and if possible, revert to them, and then they can see how they'll go about it. But the NDC thinks that there's no time. Do it now. A reason Dr. Maniboama was saying that their agents shouldn't move anywhere. And in fact, he stated that they should be there. They shouldn't move an inch, and whilst they are waiting for the decision from the EC. So the final decision from the EC is that we stand by our statement, and all political parties must withdraw henceforth.
All right, Samuel Mbura is a member of our political desk, and he covered this emergency inter-party advisory committee meeting that was held at the office of the Electoral Commission. Let me bring in Mustafa Gbam, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, also with us is Gilfred Asiama, Team Leader, Election Anti-Corruption, Rule of Law, CDD, Ghana, Cordeo Secretariat. And along the line, we'll see if we can also bring in Haruna, Mohammed Harun of the MPP. Let me start with you, Mustafa Gbam. You appear to be lonely in this fight to have your agents present at this transfer size.
Yes, thank you very much, and good afternoon to my other colleagues on the other side. It appears so because we are the defending champions. In this game, we are the ones on the ground, and we are fighting to stand on our feet. Bear in mind that the other party is carrying a whole government and its machinery by its side. And so it's just appropriate when we call for more significant transparency, when we call for more significant impartiality of the institutions of state. I believe that we have not yet interrogated these violence activities that have occurred, though condemnable. If we did, we would realize that the altercations did not occur from the agents, but rather the various party members who go to the registration centers who are not even part of the official exercise. That is where these altercations come from. And so clearly, it's just much ado about nothing. We feel that the decision by Electoral Commission to allow agents to participate in the process was ideal, was one that offers more transparency, given the fact that political parties must track who are the people that come to register. We have a situation where most of the people who are being bussed to the various registration centers, we know, do not qualify for what the law provides, that ordinarily you should be resident in the place you are transferring your vote for 12 months. Most of the people do not have that qualification. And we can cite several examples.
Isn't that the reason there is this challenge provision in the entire process?
Well, we do know that if the agents are not present, who will then challenge the individuals that you suspect do not qualify? Is it not more chaotic? In the coming days, is it not more going to be bloody? That the agents who are officially supposed to administer the challenge forms are being asked to withdraw from such a sensitive exercise. Then you are asking political parties to find other ways to prevent gerrymandering. Obviously, what will happen is that there will be more altercations than the EC is trying to prevent. Number two, the Electoral Commission should not abandon its core responsibility and assume that of the police. It is a duty of the police to ensure orderliness and proper policing at every public event. And I was in Kaswa when this incident happened. The police were very swift. They restored order. So if the Electoral Commission is about to abandon transparency and rather take security, which is not their mandate, it's a misplaced priority. The MPP will be silenced because under the circumstance, they believe that state machinery is protecting them, perpetrate such illegalities. But we are also saying that it will not happen under our nose that people who do not qualify by law are being deliberately bussed to polling station or registration centers to go.
All right. Mustafa, hold it there for me. Let me bring in Guilford. Guilford Asiama. He's an independent watcher in this space. Mustafa, I'll come back to you on that once we fix this connection issue. Mr. Guilford Asiama, good afternoon. Welcome to the poll. So the EC says that, I mean, we wanted to be as transparent and as fair as possible, but it looks like the parties just want to abuse the process. And we already have one issue on how somebody's battling for his life at the hospital. We don't want to continue with this. So we'll do our own work, find your own way to monitor the process. In terms of fairness and transparency, is the EC right or simply has to allow the space to be open so that this, at every step, the party will be sure in their heads that we are doing the right and right thing is being done?
Well, as has been stated clearly by the Electoral Commission, and I think Mr. Ahin made mention of that, the laws do not have any provision for political parties or their agents to play.
Absolutely.
When it comes to this exercise. So when you look at the entire processes where the law expects these parties and their agents to play a role, they have defined rules and responsibilities for these parties and their agents and how they can assist with the process. In this case, even though the Electoral Commission, together with the political parties at the last IPAC meeting, which I participated in, agreed that in the name of transparency, let's allow these political parties or their agents to participate in the process by observing. But maybe that was a wrong decision, I must say, because when you allow political parties to observe without clearly defining what role they should play, then they may feel, that they can play whatever role that they need to play to assist with the process. And bear in mind that when you are doing voter registration and other processes, because the law provides room and roles for these political parties and their agents to participate, there is also an opportunity to train them on how they should go about executing their mandate or the expectation of the law, how they should meet that expectation. But when you don't make any provision for them, and they are not trained, how do you expect them to play the kind of role that you want them to go to the various district offices of the Electoral Commission to go and play those roles? So clearly, I think even though the Electoral Commission took some steps to promote further transparency, maybe that was a wrong decision because it was a recipe for disaster. As you have seen or you realize the NDC is saying to prevent people if they see something, we don't expect any political party or political party agent to take any step to prevent someone from participating in this exercise.
Right.
So you ask yourself, what are they doing over there? What role do we have for them to even aid this kind of exercise?
But Guilford, I mean, under normal circumstances, I mean, the EC should be allowed to operate without any interference, especially, I mean, relating to transfer of votes. But mistrust in the electoral process, it what fuels some of these things to the extent that the political parties feel that by not being present and observing the process, I mean, they stand to be disadvantaged in terms of how the outcome will come in December. Now that the EC says that the CR does not even give you the right to be here from the first, so we are going by the status quo. How then do we get the parties to monitor the process such that the fairness and transparency that they are requesting will be upheld? Because eventually it is the integrity of the process that everybody is fighting to protect.
Well, I mean, you are right on that. If maybe the law had thought or maybe reflected on some of these provisions, then we would have allowed the political parties to play a role and even define a role for them. When they are playing a role, we should define what specific role we want them to play in this kind of exercise. But I don't think all hope is lost. When the Electoral Commission is now with the exercise, the law mandates the EC to provide the list of people who have been transferred to the political parties when they make such requests. But I'm also saying that when you allow the political parties to be there and they feel that things are not going right, what role do you have for them to play? Can they prevent people from registering? Can they take any action? They can't do anything. And political parties, the way that they operate, when they see person ABC, even in cases where we had provisions for challenge, people prefer to fight and prevent people from going through the process, either than going through the normal challenge But in the case where you don't have any provision for them, what do you expect them to do when they are there and they think that things are not going right, or they don't believe that people should be on a transfer list when they are being enrolled on a transfer list? So I think it's a lacuna, and we should try to protect the process very well and not to undermine the authority of the Electoral Commission. We all agree that IPAC.
All right.
That even though the law does not permit these agents to be there, in the name of transparency, let them be there. But if we think things are not going right, and it may, at the end of the day, even undermine the whole exercise, I don't think the NDC should insist on any form of illegality by undermining the authority of the Electoral Commission. We must respect the authority of the Electoral Commission.
All right.
We should make sure that every opportunity that exists for any political party to challenge whatever process there is, bear in mind that when people are going to do the transfer, it is expected that they provide even the proof of their physical location while they are there. So if the parties are pushing for the Electoral Commission to provide more information on who has been on transfer list and the supporting evidence to make a case, then that is fair. But to be there and in person to try to prevent people because you don't think they should be on the transfer list, I think that would be very unfortunate, and we shouldn't condone such kind of behavior.
Mr. Gilfred, thank you very much. Let me wrap it up with Mustafa Gbande. So, Mustafa, the rules and regulations governing the transfer of votes is quite clear. I mean, I'm wondering why you are still nursing seeds of mistrust in this entire exercise.
Well, I disagree with my brother when he says that the role of agents in this exercise have not been defined. It is not true. The agents who participate through the exercise, they just don't go sit there and do nothing. If you go to the center and you interrogate directors of the Electoral Commission, you will know that the role of the agents are very clear. They receive data on the number of people who are being transferred. They record same. So at the end of the day, sometimes the EC even rely on these agents for reconciliation purposes.
Right.
Then it builds consensus at the local level. Now, if we say that because the law have not explicitly provided for something, so we should not do it, wait for chaos to arrive, then it's unfortunate. Having said so, I want to believe that this issue of agents, we are all, overriding the circumstances that brought us here. This is the first time that the Electoral Commission has left registration of voters in the hands of political parties. In the past, and even as the Constitution provides, we spoke about this before, that the Electoral Commission ought to have decentralized registration for it to be accessible by all Ghanaians without having to go through any stress. But this is not the case. You have allowed politicians to be the ones busing individuals to go and register. Do you think they are not going to have some interest in who transfers and who doesn't transfer? So we are at a crossroads where we need to have a consensus with the Electoral Commission involving all political parties, given the circumstance that it is not agents who are directly involved in any issue of insecurity or altercation.
Right.
It will be more disastrous.
But Mustafa, you insist that your agents must still continue to be present at the centers.
Yeah. Our agents are going to be there. We are going to bus a lot of party people to every registration center from tomorrow to ensure that anyone who does not qualify to transfer their votes will not be allowed to even get to the center.
But the reason
we have taken a decision on it as a party.
My concern is the possible chaos this may create if the other side also decides to do the same. The very reason the EC says that you should allow them to do their work.
The problem is when EC have gotten Kudu and the rest to be speaking as if they are political parties and understand the stress we go through when they don't. The issue is that the Electoral Commission itself have not averted itself to fairness and transparency given the period of time that we have found ourselves in. And I'm saying that we can show you record of people who are being bashed who are not ordinarily residents. In the past, we have challenged these people, but the challenge forms end at nothing. They simply don't do anything about it. So we are saying that we will increase vigilance to rather ensure that wrong people are not, put into our electoral rule. Then the Electoral Commission then comes in to say all political parties should bring agents so that you'll be part of the process. The agents are in the room, in the offices of the Electoral Commission. It is the party supporters who are outside who normally generate these altercations. Yesterday, the IGP initiated a decision to say that, okay, nobody should go within a certain perimeter where the transfers are going on. If you are not an agent, if you are not a party officer designated for that purpose, don't come close, which I think in security was a prudent decision. But to rather withdraw agents, I can assure you that we will ensure that our agents are there. We will rather bus more party people to every registration center from now till the exercise is over.
That is
just so we are vigilant to ensure
and that will be encouraging.
That the Electoral Commission
and that Mustafa will be encouraging lawlessness, knowing very well that you have no law to stand on to do what it is you want to do.
No, before we prevent somebody from transferring his vote, we will give you evidence that a person does not qualify. We are duty bound to prevent perpetration of crime, are we not? Are we not duty bound to prevent people from perpetrating crimes against public?
But there's a process
and that
for
if
that
somebody
as well.
does not qualify to transfer. So if you remove the agents, who is going to challenge these illegal transfers?
There's a case of exhibition.
If you remove the agent, if you remove them, who is going to challenge the people who are being put on electoral roll?
So why don't you engage the EC more on a possible way rather than say that
but today the EC, but EC says that it is going to further engage its stakeholders and revert to us. We will put people there. They will not be violent. They will not obstruct EC's responsibility in terms of the process that is ongoing. But we will ensure that beyond that, if you go and bring people who don't qualify, they won't get to the registration center, let alone to get to transfer their votes. That one is then, unless the police would have to arrest all of us in this country, that will not be allowed to happen because we know the government has every objective to try and rig the election. And we have decided that we will not allow it to take place.
All right, Mustafa Bwande is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, and their position is that they will still maintain their agents there despite the EC directive that no law allows them to do so, and that the EC said they should be allowed to do their work. This is a pause here on Joy. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll have more on the program. Welcome back to the show. This is a pause on a Monday. Now, on Thursday, Joy News will host some of the country's top leaders as we hold a public speaking event on a topic looking beyond the Fourth Republic towards nation building, the case for citizens' mindset revolution. In the studio with me this afternoon is Mr. Samuel Inkum Tinkram, coordinator for the Amalgam Group of Professionals. Mr. Tinkram, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So why is this necessary? Mindsets, revolution. These are radical things.
Yes, yes. We started this public series of public lectures last year. In fact, the first lecture was held in last year. That was in July.
Right.
We spoke about, if you like, to avoid the technical word, neoliberalism. I mean, free market. We all know that, you know, if you allow the market to operate by itself without regulation, there will be problems. We are trying to regulate it. As a nation, there are still problems. Because along the line, some protection for vulnerable groups, you know, there should be that kind of social network protection for the vulnerable groups. Then August, that was when this issue about renal, what do you call it?
The dialysis.
The dialysis, yes. So we had one of our, you know, members in the name of a pharmacist and a researcher of the CDD. That's Kwame Sapon CDD. to come and talk about health issues as to whether the Fourth Republic has delivered on has delivered a health dividend. Then in this, November, we held a third one, and the topic was on as to whether we can have political parties to pander, to more or less adopt a common manifesto.
Common manifesto.
Yes.
Right.
This year, in March, we, got the faith leaders to also, come in to tell us why they are, what they preach in the pulpits and in the mosques are not reflecting.
Right.
In terms of, public morality and ethics. Now we are looking at a mindset.
Right.
We want to move beyond, the Fourth Republic. The question was as to whether it has delivered, and the conversations are that the Fourth Republic has not delivered. So let's move on. Nation building. And we know that we have issues with mindsets in this country. It's a common problem.
Right.
But we want to take the angle of, looking at it from a development point of view. What can we do about mindset? And then that can be revolutionary.
Of course, it can be. It can be. It can be. Let's do a bit of a backtrack. So the first one was about health.
Yes. The first one was about neoliberalism.
Exactly.
Yes. We are free.
Of course.
We are also
but still dependent.
Yeah, we are still dependent. Okay, that captures it well.
So the backtracking about the health issue, and I know you've also been following the news. So
yes,
at the start of my show, I had a conversation with the National Health Insurance Authority,
yes,
and of course the Kidney Patients Association. And the reason for that conversation is that government has intervened. The health insurance says that for the next 6 months, from now to December, they will be supporting them in their treatment. There's actually a full cost recovery for under 18 and above 60. But it's just for 6 months. And then for those above 18 and below 60, that's 2 out of the 8 sessions for free. Is this something you applaud, or you think more could be done?
You see, what I can say is dialysis, full cost recovery for dialysis patients, that should be a no-no. They cannot. Whoever is paying for dialysis will die. And I mean, the advanced countries, what I know is there's some kind of support.
Right.
Either it is free or there is
some subsidy.
Some kind of subsidy. And those who can pay, I mean, wherever, those who can pay must be allowed to pay. But this it's a life and death, more or less issue.
Right.
And I will not, I would not even go to the area of, looking at who is supposed to pay, and then what the NHIS, the intervention is just temporary.
Yeah, for the next 6 months.
Yes.
At least until along the line, government decided that we want to review this. But for now, it's just 6 months. And then back to square one.
No. We should find a way of, last week I was here, I was at Ekusi saying, and I made the observation that, look, where health systems, the investment in the systems are poor, we will have to pay for the delivery. Either you invest in the health delivery systems, or you pay when people are not well.
But some say that why start something you can't finish? Why give us hope when you know that you can't take us to the end of the road?
Making reference to these 6 months.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's a relief, like being given paracetamol.
And then the other backtracking issue I wanted to talk about, I mean, the other public lecture was a national manifesto.
Yes.
Now, again, last week, the National Development Planning Commission launched Agenda 2057. Some people said that you had Agenda 2040. Nobody respected it.
Yes.
Nobody respected it. In fact, it became a talk shop. The political party have their own mindset and their own agenda. I wonder how many of them take the National Development Planning Commission document and say, I want to implement it. Yeah. And so we appear to be recycling the issues.
So then why did we set up, this is a constitutional body.
Right.
The National Development Planning Commission. it is a wonder. Look, it means we are not planning. If we are not implementing what the planning commission, you've more or less put professionals there.
Right.
And they are doing great job. I mean, when you go through some of their documents, they are great. Why are we not adopting them? It means we are not planning, and whoever is not planning is not serious, let me say it. You see, why do we leave political parties to look at their own manifestos? They come, they set out to achieve their own agendas, and we know what is happening. They are unable to even complete their projects, leftover projects from a previous, a regime or government. It's not continued, and uncompleted. What do you call it?
Projects all
over the place. I've been following some of what you've been capturing. It is not the best. So what we did was to bring attention to, and the political parties were there. The major ones were there, and even the smaller ones were also there. And they were happy with the suggestion, but I know that the thing is not realizable or practical. But then we have to force them to follow because it's our money.
But again, if the political parties were serious with work done by the National Development Planning Commission, then clearly this is an independent body, non-partisan. You would expect that they wouldn't even have to come up with manifestos because the development plan is already there.
Oh, you can. The plan will be there, but when you have the mandate to come and govern, you can tweak. Okay. You can, the plans are not quite exhaustive as far as implementation, dimensions are concerned. So you can pick, but to go off the plan, that is not. Please, we have to correct this.
Of course, we'll do that.
3 weeks to go.
Yes, of course, we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Yes, it's only Thursday.
It's only Thursday.
3.
Yeah, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes,
We've got 3 days more to go.
Yes. So please, that is a very, very important, and a lot of issues were. I mean, look at the economy, for example, and then this current government gave us a lot of hope about industrialization. And it is captured in the National Planning Commission, their programs, or the plan. As to how it will be delivered, that is why, if you remember, when this government, they were laying out their industrialization plans,
right?
People were asking the cost. Have you done the costing? Have you done the costing? Whatever the agenda was. But these have been costed. Some of these are costed in the plan.
Right.
I mean, a plan without a cost is not a plan.
Of course.
Without a costing, it's not a plan. So until we are able to, set out or help political parties to set out realistic, and I mean, when you plan, we have the concept of SMART objectives. If you haven't costed, I mean, how you are going to more or less execute the plan,
of course,
not quite. I mean,
up to
even the communications were in diverse. You see, there was no commonality, and that is what we are looking out for. That, if possible, we should find ways of getting political parties to adopt a common manifesto. You can tweak it. But even then, the point is that if you don't deliver,
I mean, it's nothing naturally.
And investments gone down the drain. We are all observing these things, and it's not something that we.
And I guess that brings us to the issue of the mindsets.
Yes.
So, what exactly?
So these are all mindset.
Of course. What exactly?
The mindset of even not adopting a common plan.
From professionals paid to do this job.
Yes.
And I hear...
So that I cannot get my pay. That is also an issue.
So the mindset conversation, whose mindsets are we really, exploring? Is it those in leadership or the ordinary Ghanaian?
Everyone. Everyone. We should be moving towards, we mentioned common manifesto, a common mindset. It is the collective. Nation building is not about, political parties. It's not even about infrastructure. It's the people. It's the people. In fact, this morning I've been reading about the population figures. And I was surprised to get confirmation that, up to about 60% of our population, they are young people.
Of course. I mean, it's a fact that, Africa, even if you want to even make it even broader, so you have a continent with holding 30% of the world resources, young population,
and
Europe is aging, and we have everything, yet we are struggling.
So it's a mindset issue. How are we going to, ensure that this youthful, vibrant, urban, driven, everybody wants to get into the urban centers. And look at the streets. They are eager. They want jobs to do.
Yeah, there's no
and
job.
yet, the resources are there. I mean, it's a mindset problem. It's a mindset problem. So let's engage them. Let's find ways of, ensuring that we are creating jobs. Even if a government, if this particular government, the next 6 or so, how many months?
6 months from now.
They should stop everything.
And do what?
And create jobs.
Because,
and create jobs. Even if it is focusing on agric, you see, making it attractive. The estate way of, the commercial, what do you call it, estate farms. Look, it is how you package the whole stuff that will drive, if you like, this youthful population along. It is how you package it. It is, I'm a marketer. It is about how you package and market, and then they are ready to work.
Because some will say that perhaps as a country, we are not angry enough. We are not demanding so much from our leaders. I mean, come to think of it, look at this scenario. A minister, the conditions of service for a minister of state is established in the rules of engagement. I mean, we make life so comfortable for them that their only job is to think and create something of value for the populace. Yet, you look at the output and the state of affairs in this country, and no wonder whether we have the right people in leadership or we have people who are simply not ready to bring their back.
Let me tackle this point first. We should be happy but uncomfortable that our youthful, this teeming population, the youthful, vibrant, energetic, are silent. We should be very serious about that.
Right.
Because when they get angry, it is not me. I mean, look, I am 68, and I care. I have, last time, I've worked for 42 years in the public sector, in the private sector, and I'm still working. You get my point? I handle young people in my church, and I work with young people. I know their aspirations. I know their frustrations. And sometimes you have to go beyond your own, comfort zone to support some of
these young people.
I know what
they are capable of doing. In fact, Archbishop Duncan Williams said that you should never underestimate the Ghanaian.
Really?
If you think that we are too gentle.
Yes.
Push the Ghanaian to the wall, you see the reaction.
So our leaders, it's a passionate appeal that I am making. We shouldn't take them with our youth for granted. You see? I mean, with this on air, I don't have to go into.
Of course, this is the teaser. The main event is on Thursday.
Yes, this is the teaser. Because, look, we pass through traffic. What if they attack you? So when they come to me in traffic, I want to be very modest. If I can help you, I help you. If I can't, I wave you nicely. I've seen some of the
reaction
Yes, I've witnessed one of them, and the guy was very, very angry. In traffic, drivers are fighting, unnecessarily. People are angry in traffic. My brother, our leaders, and look, politics has become the attractive way of making money. In any country where politics is, the route for enrichment, we have to very, very.
Before I let you go, so restate it. So it's Thursday?
Thursday, yes. Thursday at the British Council Hall, 6 p.m., 6:30, the show begins.
It's on.
So please get there. This time, we know that the attendance will be huge, but we are inviting the public. Come, let's share. In fact, the reason why we started this public lecture series was to give the platform for professionals to come together and then also to be talking about national issues.
Yeah.
We were silent for too long.
Okay.
But over the, just
the last
1 year, we realized that people are talking. You are
of
a
course,
media man.
of course.
People are talking. So even these physical, meetings for the lecture, for the events, we may have to, you are our backers.
Of course,
we'll have to engage you as to whether we'll do the studio type. Because those who our patrons are, the large numbers, are online.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for coming through. So on Thursday is the event at the British Council Hall. And of course, it will also be live on Joy News. Now let's move to some other stories. And Accra High Court has given parties in the ongoing anti-LGBTQ plus case, Paul Boama Sefa versus the Speaker of Parliament, and another 4 weeks to file their written submissions to support their argument before a determination is made on July 29. Paul Boama Sefa, a farmer in the Ashanti region, is praying the Supreme Court to stop the passage of the bill, which has already been done by Parliament, a bill which has since been passed into waiting for presidential approval to make a law. Latif Idris was in court and has come to with this report.
In a very brief proceedings here at the High Court, the sitting judge, Justice Ellen Mreku, has given the parties involved in this matter, that is the anti-LGBTQ case before this court, up until July 4th for the plaintiff to file his written submission. The Attorney General and the Speaker of Parliament have up until July 29 to also file a response, by which date the court is expected to sit for a determination to be made on that matter. Today's proceedings is historic in the sense that for the first time in the history of this republic, TV cameras were allowed into a high court for the live coverage of proceedings. This is part of the Chief Justice's initiative as a way of reinventing the frontiers of the judicial system and also the newly created love affair between the judiciary and the media. The sitting is expected to reconvene on the 29th of July 2024, by which date all parties involved, the plaintiff, the Speaker of Parliament, and the Attorney General are expected to have filed their written submissions, and then a proper determination will be made on that matter by the sitting judge.
So you call yours to, upon being served within 4 weeks, to file it, meaning it's going to take us beyond July. But I want us to come before the end of July to ensure that the plaintiff has filed this. Then we can be guided. The next date will be for the determination by the court. So can we come back on the 29th of July? That's fine.
Are we to file by 29th?
I said 4 weeks upon service. You have 4 weeks within which to file. If by 29th all of you have filed, I can give you a date for a determination. But at least by 29th they should have filed, because they are supposed to file by the 4th of July. Hopefully you are just here. age you are just here. So maybe if you file early, they can be served on the same day or the day after. So I'm hoping that by 29, all parties would have filed, and I can give you a date. If I am a vacation, then I'll come during the vacation for the court's judgment. But on the 20th.
Court right.
We'll say with matters relating to law because Kojo Nkansa, actor, also known as Lewen, has been granted a 50,000 cedi bail with two sureties by the Asokore Mampon District Court following his arrest this morning. Joy News' Clinton Yewa joins us from Kumasi with details on how this case unfolded this morning. Clinton, you're welcome. So our understanding is that he was picked after being attended to by doctors at the Konfanoti Teaching Hospital. Is it the case that he was on admission?
Yes, he was on admission at the emergency unit of Konfanoti when the police came for him. According to his lawyers, the lawyers described the situation as being bulldozed into the police cells.
I'm wondering, I mean, we know this incident happened almost about 10 days ago. And yes, his vehicle ran into another vehicle. A 3-year-old boy died. Later that evening, he was seen at the premiering of his movie. He's been out and about. So what time was he taken to hospital for him to be admitted and then taken from the hospital to the police van and then to court? I mean, walk us through the sequence of the day because some appears doesn't to add up for me.
All right, according to his lawyers, he has always been at the hospital. He was only released to attend his premiering and also have a Thanksgiving service 2 days after the accident. And that is the problem that people have been, and the concerns that people have been raising, that why is today that he was arrested had to be in a situation like that when we have seen him actively being engaged in the media, actively being engaged in other activities. But then today when he was picked from the hospital, he had bandages around his neck and his head, which is one of the reasons that his counsel based on to demand and argue for bail at the court today.
So what about family of the deceased? And then we understand the father is also nursing some injuries. Were they in court? How did they receive the news?
Okay, so right from where Lewin was sent to, which is the Menchia Divisional Police, MTTD, none of the family members came around to even look at the scene or being involved at the scene. But the conversation that I've had earlier with a family member is that members of, and then the management of Lewin has tried to seek, to engage them. However, the medium and the approach that they are using is something that they call very insulting. And so they are not ready to engage the actor or the management further. And so the family, none of the family members were around the scene at the time. But also a conversation I had with one of the relatives, he demanded that he's happy that the police have been able to sustain the case. And he's also demanding that if he has been arrested, no matter the pedigree and the degree or the personalities involved, justice should be brought.
So my final question would be, so the judge in this case granted him bail on health grounds?
Yes, that was the argument of Lewin's counsel, that the actor is in a critical condition, having injuries around his head and his neck, which makes it impossible for him to move around. Right. And so it is not as if he is granted bail, he is going to run or going to bolt. And so the counsel, based on this reason, to demand and argue for bail, which the presiding judge also, saw reasons in it and granted a bail for 4 weeks. Right.
So the next court date will be July 27. Thank you very much, Clinton Yabwa from our sister station, Love FM. Now, media organizations around the world are grappling with disinformation largely caused by unfiltered publication of materials on internet platforms such as social media. The advent of artificial intelligence has heightened fears that the situation of disinformation could worsen if management of media organizations fail to take immediate steps to enhance their credibility. As your trusted news source, management of Joy News are working closely with international partners such as the DW, TV, Deutsche Welle television in Germany to improve accuracy.
You do it yourself, you do understand.
The media landscape is fast evolving, and so should media organizations. These members of senior management at Joy News and Deutsche Welle Television are exploring ways to effectively tackle disinformation, a growing trend which could potentially erode confidence in media organizations. Managing Director, Distribution, Marketing and Technology at Deutsche Welle, Gerardo Bamboa, says the fight against disinformation must be a collective one.
That's a super important question, because especially when we all lose credibility because we would sort of publish fake news, people don't care whether we're public or private. So it is a common fight against disinformation, and this is key right now, because with AI out there, artificial intelligence and algorithms that we don't understand as human beings anymore, and things are evolving so quickly that there is so much fake news out there, we can't even spell our names right, and all of a sudden there's a new tool out there that does it. So this is the fight that we have to do together, because in a society with limited media literacy, people are believing what they are seeing, and we just have to tell them, well, listen, what you see is not reality. So think twice, get a second source, get a second opinion, try to understand what is really happening, and do not believe everything you see.
The media executive also revealed that both Joy News and Deutsche Welle will continue to compare notes in a bid to churn out relevant and accurate content that will make the world a better place.
I guess one of the important aspects of our partnership between multimedia and DW is to really focus on what is needed in a society. Is it that people are looking for? And if we can provide that, let's provide that together. So we would love to learn from you to understand what is the target audience, what is it that your audiences need, and then we can provide it and produce it together. And I think that will, in the end, make our content, the DW content as well as the multimedia content, a joint content which is more relevant to the people, and that will add value, hopefully. And that's why we're here. We're here to make this world a little bit better.
And that's our show for today, Monday. Folks, for more stories, log on to our website, myjoyonline.com. Stories on myjoyonline.com. The minority kicked against 5G contract says it's not in Ghana's interest. We are introducing e-gates at Kotoka to replace immigration checks. Of course, Lewen granted 50,000 bail, case adjourned to June 27. Well, so that's it. That's our show. We shall be back tomorrow, same time at 3 p.m. with another exciting edition of The Pulse. Until then, take care. Stay on Joy News for more. My name is Elton Brobe. Have a good evening.